We are live. Wednesday, the new time slot for. I gotta wait a few seconds before I say the name of the show because I caught wind of the YouTube guidelines. So I gotta wait till I get at least
You
20
still
seconds.
breaking guidelines?
Welcome everybody to the Shit That Needs to Be Said show, episode number 6. I got my co-host here, Mr. JB. Woo-hoo-hoo. New time slots. It feels
I'm so out
weird.
of whack.
It feels weird.
I am out of
It,
whack.
it feels like it feels like there should be more sun coming in. It feels weird but good. Feels weird but good. I think this is going to be a good time. Mr. Robert, Arctic RC, Mr. NorCal, Mr. Kevin Gibbs, how are you guys doing today? Man, what and barbecue? Bingo. All right, it's good. It's good to see some familiar faces
Right? Oh,
hitting
that
us
make me feel comfortable.
at the new time. Yeah, because I was kind of worried that everybody was gonna get messed up with the new 5:30 time slot. And I'm gonna start the show off with kind of a weird subject, but because we were talking about it last week, Cocaine Bear the movie.
Yeah.
I did watch the trailer. And like I was just telling JB, I won't go see it in the movie, in the theater, because it's got to be something really spectacular to get me to pay that much money to go into a theater. But I will definitely watch it when it comes out on streaming because it is exactly what it should be. It
Heck yeah,
finally
man.
Hollywood is starting
Grab your popcorn, grab the snacks. Let's go watch Cocaine Bear.
because it's in the trailer. I saw like two parts in the trailer that are exactly what I want it to be. A guy and a girl walk into a cabin, and there's a dead person there that's been mauled by a bear.
Sure.
And then there's blood coming underneath the door.
Ooh.
And he's like, "Ooh, what is that?" And
He's going to go for the door.
true horror movie fashion, he's got to walk over there
Yeah.
and open the door up, and out of the shadow comes cocaine out of its mind bear face.
I love it.
Out of the shadow, blood all over it.
Forgive the flyby right now.
Thompson, good to see you. Yeah, so that was a pleasant surprise that I was actually a little bit entertained by watching the trailer, and it's
Hey,
good. It's good to see that there has been.
Right? Yeah, no, like, I mean, if we could get some cheap matinee tickets, I would go see it in the theater for that matter. I mean,
and one of the cool parts is that the movie takes place in
Knoxville,
Tennessee. and it actually is loosely based on the original story of a smuggler who lost a giant bag of cocaine.
Whoops.
And it was actually somewhere over the between Georgia and Tennessee and the Smoky Mountains there, and he ended up bailing out of the plane, and then he ended up dying, evidently, because he tried to strap some of the cocaine to him when he jumped out of the plane, which was something wrong with it, and he died. But the movie looks like it's going to be way more entertaining than that boring ass story.
Hell yeah.
The other trailer, because I happened to watch a trailer, which was the movie with Kylo Ren called 65, which is the exact opposite of Cocaine Bear, which is it's a freaking, they travel through space, land on a planet, or they accidentally get transported to a new planet and it's got dinosaurs on it. And it's like, hey, didn't they make that already? It was called Land of the Lost, or Jurassic Park, or any number of other dinosaur movies that have already been made here. Why?
It's a Fargate. We're totally
Why?
not getting sued.
And why hasn't anybody realized that there are certain movies that once they were made, they pretty much broke that kind of movie ever be? Jurassic Park broke dinosaur movies. You're not going to be able to make anything that's going to beat Jurassic Park. So let's just, all right, for 20 years or so, we just no more dinosaur movies.
We're not putting dinosaurs in a museum or an amusement park anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a dinosaur. I can tell you how 65 goes. They land on a planet. They see some dinosaurs. The dinosaurs try to kill them, and they run around and shoot up a bunch of dinosaurs. And then eventually, they're either going to be stuck on the planet forever, or they'll get rescued and go back to their old world, and everything will be wonderful again.
This is why I come. It's for the chat. Absolutely.
It's called 65, or is that how much it costs per ticket to view? That's 65 would be for the child's ticket.
Oh, geez. That's with a discount.
With a student ID.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I think Bobby Q said the last movie he saw was Transformers.
Yeah. I can't even remember. I went and saw a movie with my lady that we enjoy, but it was a matinee movie that she bought tickets for. But I mean, heck, that was $40 or something. I mean,
yeah, and I can't remember if it was before or after. So it was either the last movie I saw was either the last Hobbit movie or the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie. So I don't know which one came last, but that was one of those two. Was the last movie I went and saw in the theater. And I know the Pirates of the Caribbean, my wife and I went and saw it in one of them fancy theaters.
Oh yeah,
where they got the recliners.
Oh.
And you can like order dinner and sit there and eat dinner while you're watching the movie. And
Chainsaw,
good to see you, man. I think barbecue is pretty. I think that was pretty close to how much we actually paid for our tickets to see that movie. It was pretty damn ridiculous, and it was not.
I feel like this is where I should stop you and shamelessly plug a sponsor. Except for we don't have any sponsors.
Yes, we will never have any sponsors because there's no way anybody's going to sponsor us for sitting here talking shit about everybody.
Yeah, probably not. I'm sorry.
Got a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the movie industry and how abysmally terrible they have become at making movies when it's your job to make movies. If they weren't so busy trying to preach and lecture everybody about how we should stop using plastic straws and everything else, they might focus and pay attention to what they're actually supposed to be doing, which is, you know what? Just make a movie. Make a movie and make it fun. Make it dramatic. Make it funny. Whatever. Just do that. And I guess I got to say something about the laughing my ass off at Chris Rock's rant about the infamous slap at the Oscars last year, which was kudos to Chris Rock. Kudos. Because, that guy got smacked on live television. I don't know if it was live. It might was. I think it's live just on a delay. But yeah, he got smacked on live television, which
The
is
early 90s, that was only like 5 years ago, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Oh man, I vividly remember the early 90s.
Now that we've moved, I mean, I know we went over some notes for the show, but I mean, did we even have any RC stuff to talk about at all?
I do. RC four-wheel drive has a new semi-truck Dakar rally truck.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
And it looks cool. It looks pretty cool. And it's, it is an RTR. It's not even, I don't think it's a kit. I mean, look here. It is an RTR, so it comes mostly built.
Mostly.
Yeah, I would imagine there's probably a few odds and ends that you'd probably have to stick on there. But it looks actually really nice. It's what you would expect from RC four-wheel drive. That it's scale. The back part of the truck opens up, and then the very back has got some doors on it. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, they did put their King shocks on it, which I know for a fact are crap. So it would probably be wise that you're probably going to have to drop probably another $100 to get to replace those shocks. You probably get a couple runs out of them before they leak and scrape all the chrome plating off the shafts and just otherwise don't work very good anymore.
Right.
Hey. But yeah, it's going to cost as much as a used Prius. Yeah, that's the unfortunate drawback to RC four-wheel drive's cool new rally truck is it comes in at a nice, affordable $999.99.
Ouch.
$1,000? It's cool. Now, when I was looking at this, when I scrolled all the way down, I happened to notice, because I didn't realize RC four-wheel drive already had a Dakar rally style semi truck.
Okay.
And now the new one is not the cab over design. It is got the regular semi truck hood on it and whatnot. The other one is like a cab over design, and that one is $1,270. Okay. Now, I'm not exactly sure. I know the semi trucks cost a lot of money. Now, buying the Tamiya kits and all of that, I know that those themselves aren't that expensive. It's all the other stuff that you put into it that ends up driving the price up. And if you want a trailer, you're going to have to fork out some money too.
Hand pink waving. I like that one. That's one of my. I don't know why it doesn't come across as that emoji, but it never does.
Yeah. I do not understand where the price points come from some of the manufacturers. I was mentioning the other day to JB. So we have seen from most of the major brands across the board. We have seen, like Axial. Let's say all the major brands from one particular umbrella company have across the board raised their prices with the pandemic and supply chain and blah, 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 all the other reasons. But at the same time, there are some other companies that, basically like set their price at one point and it's never changed through the pandemic, through the supply chain issues, through any of that.
Who are?
Yeah, exactly, Mr. Gibbs. They are pricing people out of the hobby, and I don't.
It's already expensive enough. We were talking about, we talked about that in the early shows. This hobby is expensive, man. You just keep trying to. I swear, man. You're just trying to rip me off, dude.
And I am by no means a Vanquish fanboy, but I mentioned to JB
Vanquish is still expensive too, but
it's expensive, but it's always been expensive. So I just looked at getting the offset axle from Vanquish, the Curry F9, to match what I have in my LC70 that is the center, but I needed offset because I got the driveline coming off to one side. And I happened to notice that when I originally bought my Curry F9s, see, it's late, and I got JB's sleep schedule.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to yawn while you're talking.
But I bought those axles. They were $149.99 each. And when I looked at guess what? Vanquish still sells them for $149.99. Price has never changed. Element still selling the, I guess, the raw builder's kit, the enduro builder's kit. It's still like $369.99, the same prices that it's been for since it came out, basically. So either some of the manufacturers have a better business model, or some of the manufacturers are taking the opportunity to jack the prices up on us because they can, because they have an excuse. Hey, we got a good excuse here. There's supply chain issues. There's a freaking war in Ukraine. The global temperature has risen up 0.4444 millionths of a degree in the last 12 years.
Well, we currently throw away $10,000 to anyone who asks. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, it's. Yeah, it seems like it seems like they are trying to take advantage of the situation. We can make more money right now, and I know months ago in one of my first live shows that I did, I was talking about how companies are recording record profits right now, and yet they're turning around and telling us that they got to charge us more money while they're making more money. Well, damn it.
Right.
The reason why you're making more money is because you're jacking the prices up.
I bought a house in Malibu, and now I need to pay the mortgage on it. So,
speaking of Malibu, there's a gentleman that has a YouTube channel. It's called The Malibu Artist. And he is a amateur filmmaker-ish kind of guy, but he flies drones over the beach and looking for sharks.
Okay.
And dude has some amazing footage. I think he lives somewhere around Malibu.
All right.
He's definitely in Southern California, in the Los Angeles area, because he does a lot of his videos around, Malibu area, going up the coast and whatnot. But if you have a chance, if you want to see sometimes some of the footage is actually kind of unnerving because he does a lot of narration and he does talk a lot about what he sees. He's been doing this for a few years now, and he's got a lot of video of sharks. Some big sharks in proximity to people that have no idea that shark is around. And one of the really good ones that he had was actually from his 2022 year in review. And there's a guy that is swimming in the ocean, and there's a shark that is literally like 6 or 7 feet away from him, and he doesn't see it, and the shark doesn't. The shark doesn't turn towards him or anything like that. The shark kind of turns away and just goes about its business. And he's actually saying, after I saw this, when the guy got to shore, I went over and I showed him the footage. Dude, you were that close to a shark that is easily 1.5 times.
Yeah, you could have pet him.
Bigger than you. And he said that not only was the guy not really that shocked, but he actually turned around and went back out and swam again in the same spot within 20 minutes or so.
Jesse Baker The only man who does not give a flux. Sorry, I had to. Oh, Harrington.
So yeah, that's a shameless plug to. I don't know the guy, never met him. I just
That's
happened to
cool.
be watching his channel, and it was some really cool footage. I myself, I love sharks. I love watching Shark Week every week. It's always fun. But this is like raw, uncut Shark Week, and where they're not like messing around with, little plastic floaty seals and whatnot, trying to get them to jump out of the water. This is just him flying his drone, watching sharks swim around doing shark stuff.
Right.
And like I said, some of it's kind of unnerving.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yep.
But some of it's actually pretty cool because when he sees a shark that is close to someone, he will drop his drone down so that they see his drone with the hopes that it directs their attention to see the shark, because he'll drop it down right above where the shark is at.
They're all just staring up at the drone while they're getting eaten by a shark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's good video.
Yeah. But yeah, wow, what a very cool channel. You can easily spend, a good 45 minutes to an hour just watching cool shark stuff. Yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked there. You mentioned Malibu, and I was distracted because I have the urge to change my hat.
I'm still on. Change your hat? You needed to go change your hat?
No. I had the urge. I just had the urge. I got a pile over there just in case. Because it's a long show. You never know when you might need to do a quick hat change.
You know what I really need? Is like an IKEA case, like full of RC cars behind me. That way I can show how much I've amassed.
I mean, I could turn my camera and show you my impressive collection.
All three
over there. Yeah, the 3 or 4 that are torn into pieces. The shelf looks impressive, but the reality is it's just there's the chassis and the roller is here, and then the body's sitting next to it, so it looks like there's 2 cars there, but it's actually just one in 2 pieces.
I put a couple tap lights up there.
The other thing we need to do is we need to get a shit that needs to be said website.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Man, that's the shit that needs to be said website. That sounds.
But I mean, we could put all kinds of shit up there, and then we could get people to send us messages and things like that, and then we just ignore them.
I'm definitely good at ignoring people. That's for sure.
15 RC cars and trucks, what my wife is into the hobby. Yeah, and see, 15 that's a good number. I mean, you get a nice mix. I mean, I have 9-ish. 9-ish. Because a couple of them aren't completely together. One of them I haven't driven in 3 years, so it's just there. And that doesn't count the old ones that are on the shelf.
Oh, okay, all right.
So that one there is actually complete. I could fire that one up right now. This one's missing most of it. It's basically an engine, transmission, and the suspension arms, but there's no shocks attached to it or anything. It's just a shell for display purposes.
Right. I got that right here next to me.
I mean, if my wife or my daughter were into RC, I would have more.
Yeah,
I would have more for sure. Because I would use that as an excuse to get more. Oh yeah, you have to have 3 or 4 of your own.
Definitely.
And
a pink one and a red one.
Because you don't want to drive the same one every single time, and you don't want to share you want to have your own, and
Yeah, I
see,
saw that.
NorCal, that's what we're here. We're here to help. We're helping you, our fans. Joe, I have not tried that one. Um, I could try that. You always tell the missus it was on sale, buy one get one. I had a coupon.
There you go.
I had to buy it because it was on sale, and that saved money. Because if I bought it when it wasn't on sale, it would have cost twice as much.
Absolutely.
I've I've actually had one of those conversations with my wife about something that we had to buy because it was on sale.
Friends don't let
And if
friends
we
drive
didn't
our
buy it on sale, we were just costing ourselves more money.
Right.
Yeah. Friends don't let friends drive RCs. Yeah. I
So anything else in the RC community? I can't think of, I mean, I've been so out of the loop. I've had like a million things happen to me this week already, and it's only Wednesday.
uh yeah, I got that's the only RC related thing I had in my notes was the RC four-wheel drive. I could probably find more. Uh I do jump into the old big squid usually once a week or so. Um just to that's how I saw the RC four-wheel drive thing, just to sort of, see what's going on. And uh yeah, not I mean uh there is one more thing. If you are a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series fan and you happen to have, I think, I don't, and you have an infraction and you would like to get yourself a signed limited edition Zane Smith body for your infraction, let us. I get that makes me so mad. If you're gonna put a link up, make it go to the right spot. Holy cow! Yes, if you would like that limited edition, custom autographed Zane Smith body, you can head on over to Horizon and pick that bad boy up for $199.99.
Oh wow.
So $200 for a body. There you go.
Wow.
Forgive me, but that seems a little bit on the expensive side.
I mean, if you're a fan.
If you're a fan, I personally am a NASCAR fan. I don't watch that many NASCAR races because I don't sit through the entire NASCAR race.
Is what barbecue saying really serious? Called the
Here's the
machete.
new Red Cat
Called
Creighton
machete.
Chrome. Yes, the machete.
Machete.
Uh,
Why do I feel like Danny Trejo is
I
going to
was
be
going to
so
say
upset?
they should just call it the Danny Trejo.
The Danny Trejo.
I think Red Cat is going in an interesting direction at this point with the variety. They seem to be doing the Traxxas right now. They, you know what? Let's just make one of everything.
Yeah, what the
Then
heck?
eventually we'll make two of everything, and then we'll have three of everything. And then, those boats and drones and hey, yeah, and gotta say, Red Cat also the new Gen 9 RTR. It's like $369. That's a pretty smoking deal.
Right.
It seems like there's only a couple of the companies are going in the.
Oh yeah, the lowriders. Yeah, I just saw like a video the other day. I was, and I am so out of the RC world anymore. But I was scrolling through and I saw like a convention of these guys, and there was like it looked like the stuff that they do in the European stuff with all the tractors and the. I
Yep.
mean, it was just amazing. There was a whole city laid out. They're all parked over in the parking lot. They're all doing the bounce contest and everything.
I'm imagining at some point there's going to be the 1-to-1 lowrider community and the scale lowrider community are just going to merge together into one. So like you'll go to a lowrider car show and everybody there will have their full size lowrider and then they'll have their miniature copy of it, which that's freaking cool. I like lowriders. Southern California, they're freaking everywhere. You hardly drive around without seeing them.
Right.
I can't really justify buying the RC version of it because I don't know what
it's cool, but I don't know what I'd do with it.
I don't know what I would do with it. It would be one of those things I'd play with it a couple times, and then it would probably just end up sitting there on the shelf, and that to me is almost tragic.
Yeah.
Buy an RC car that you play with a few times, and then you put it on the shelf.
Yeah, I don't know. I got one sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
Can we have a moment of silence for all the RC cars sitting on shelves?
Collecting dust.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, Reefs makes a custom servo for the lowrider from Red Cat. That is pretty cool. Chopped in channels always gets my attention. Heck yeah.
Conversation piece. Yeah, I agree. I've got a little 124th Charisma Suzuki. The Jimny. Yeah, and I leave that just sitting on my desk.
Me? I have that sitting on my desk.
There you go. Yeah. I got the red camo
The
TT trophy truck. It's not a bad truck at all. Don't drive it in the winter because I broke the body 3 times. Yeah, winter can suck. Because that coldness can definitely. I've had good luck in the winter. I mean, I've heard people, I break this, I break that. I've always managed to have very good luck out in the snow and in the cold.
I spending most of my RC life in Southern California, it was never really a thing. And I figured it out here real quick. The first time I was messing around with my Typhon out in the driveway, when it was, 32, 33 degrees outside, and I just cranked it too quick, and it bicycled, rolled over a couple times, and it broke a arm.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's lame. What the hell? And then I realized right after that, I was like, oh man, it's so cold the plastic got brittle. Wow.
Yeah.
After that, I would anytime I've gone out when it's cold or it's snowing out, I don't.
Michigan cold.
I don't play very rough.
Yeah, that Michigan cold, man, that's something else.
Yeah, NorCal, the lowriders have, I think they have one servo is it for the front and the back, or do they have 2 servos in the back and one in the front for all of the, I don't know how that setup works, how they get the 3-wheel motion going.
East Coast winters are for building new trucks.
Yep.
I think wintertime in general is a good time to build a new truck. But I mean, I've gone out crawling in the middle of winter. I've gone out crawling while it's snowing. I mean,
I didn't do much of it this year just because of other circumstances. My winter here going out was not, I didn't go out at all. But I got the Phoenix during the winter and built that. I rebuilt the Capra. So I did spend a little bit of my winter messing around with with builds, and I did do some work on my scale garage as well. Yeah, I have seen video of Sharif's Impala. That thing's freaking sweet. If you have, you know, unlimited access to everything that is cool in the RC world, I would probably build myself one that is badass. That I would probably have some shelf somewhere that is just where that car sat. And while I was supposed to be working, I'd be over there. Pew, pew, pew. Bear.
Yep, I was reading that.
Kevin is a smiling bear.
Polar. All right, Polar.
Now, and barbecue, just if Red Cat makes a donk, I will absolutely have one. Absolutely.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Because donks are just ridiculous. And there's no way that you can be a lowrider fan and not enjoy seeing a well done donk.
Oh my goodness.
Koala bear. Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys are off the chain tonight. I knew this was going to happen when we started at like 5:30 or whatever.
It's good. It's good when we get everybody at the end of the day. They're kind of spicy.
Dank races.
Yeah.
What is a dank?
So a donk is basically a lowrider.
I keep saying dank.
They put, instead of putting like little 13-inch like Daytons or something like that on it with super low profile tires, they put like 22-inch rims on it with low profile tires. So the car actually looks like it's lifted, but it's a lowrider. So it's got 2 feet of ground clearance on it because the wheels are gigantic.
But it's slammed down on top of them.
Yeah, it's still technically a lowrider. It's kind of hard to explain. JM, good to see you, buddy.
Now, I thought a donk actually referred to a specific car too. I thought that was the Impala.
You can do it with anything. Okay. Now see,
now you're gonna make me Google it because I want to know.
Well, I Googled it, so here we're gonna.
What does Google say to us? What does Google,
going to
Almighty Lords of Truth tell us?
I am gonna. So that is a donk. That's a Crown Vic donk.
Everything you need to know. Mint green and big wheels. Yeah.
And here's a perfect website that literally tells you everything you need to know about what a donk is. There are no,
you guys.
There are no shortage of.
This is what we get for not having moderators in the chat.
Yeah, there's no shortage of donk pics on Google Images. This particular one right here, that's pretty spectacular.
Right?
Look
at those rims.
That right there is. You do not get more donkish than that. That's donk paradise right there. You are
It was a lowrider, but I stepped out and broke my face.
This is another good one.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that
you have to be. I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like you have to be pretty vain to be driving around in something like that.
That's what it's all about right there. But I mean, if Red Cat brings the donk, I would say that's going to be one of those things like they'll have to do a pre-order on it, because if they just release it on their website, like you'll go in there and by the time you get your credit card number and everything, it'll be sold out already. It'd be just like the Google commercial now.
Yep.
Which I don't know if anybody has seen the Google Chrome commercial.
No.
About how they're looking at you like a person through their phone screen, and like they're scrolling on their phone, and the one gal, they're talking about malware. Oh, you don't know about malware until then, and then she's like banging on her, and then it's like Google Chrome will protect you. And then other one is a girl that's, when you finally get done putting in your credit card information, CVV number, and expiration date, the concert tickets are sold out, and you see her like throw her phone down, and they're like, Google Chrome, save your passwords and your credit card numbers and everything, because we're here to help you. Google's here to help you. Because it seems like a really good idea for you to store your credit card numbers and passwords in your browser. The one of the largest companies in the world that, likely pays most of the hackers that are hacking all the crap, wants you to save all this really super private information in their browser. Speaking of that last week we had a big one. 2.1 million credit cards and debit cards, numbers, expiration, CCV, all the information you would need to use that credit card, all dumped onto a website on the internet by a bunch of hackers who have evidently nothing better to do than to ruin normal people's lives.
Scammer via YouTube. I like it. They're talking that they love the donks. Jesse says he wants to drive one around the shop. I like that.
Get one of those Power Wheels and make a donk Power Wheel.
There you go. That way you can ride around the shop.
Power Wheel, I would use that to go get my mail at the mailbox every day. I go in my driveway in my donk. Scammer tried to troll you.
I understand that all too much, NorCal. I suppose I should thank NorCal for he made comments on my videos. I didn't even know people were still watching my videos. Like,
wait, by the way, everybody, don't forget that JB does make videos. I also do make videos
every now and then.
There's going to be more coming. I promise. I keep saying it. There's going to be more coming.
But I thought it was really kind of funny because, I was like right in the middle of actually editing something, and I was like, oh, I bet NorCal would love this. There was like, scammers and spammers.
Does everybody remember the big problem with pop-ups?
Oh, yeah.
Like a number of years ago, there's like a huge problem where like every single browser had a pop-up blocker.
Yep.
What happened to that? I noticed today.
I mean, it's still built in. Like I still see the pop-up blocker come up. Like, hey.
But pop-ups still happen. I don't know how. I don't know how it is. But
they still get by.
You can't stop pop-ups from going into my browser, but you want me to store my passwords and my credit cards? Yeah. They replied to a comment I made with a fake channel saying it was picked as a special winner. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that recently. That's on Facebook too. Yeah, where you make a post and somebody be like, "Hey, you won on my Facebook," and then you go over there and It's all just scams. All of that stuff. I tell you what, man. Like you said, I've been more involved in reality lately than RC, and just dealing in the real world. Oh my lord! I meeting and talking to people, even over photography, has just been almost awful. It's I like what I do, but damn.
Yeah, they block 100, but there's the one that gets through. Yeah, I yeah, re- re- the reality for me is starting to set in that
$200 to have it delivered. Yeah.
yeah, just give us your name, address, credit card number,
Social security number.
just to verify that
How
you
much do
are
you
who
make
you
annually?
are.
Where do you work at? Do you have a
Bank
work phone
account
number?
number and routing.
We want your mother's maiden name too.
Is there anything else we might need in order to set up a new identity for you? It's funny Joe mentions the celebrity deaths on Facebook too, because my wife actually asked me about
Look great.
the
That's
Simon,
going to come up in my Facebook feed now. That's exactly what I need. Thanks, guys.
there was the Simon Cowell one, where like they went as far as they actually photoshopped a picture of somebody in the hospital.
We talked about that. Yeah.
And it was I actually I had to look because I saw the picture and I was like, oh my god, Simon Cowell's dead, and I had to Google it. It's like, no, it's a scam. I mean, that's a pretty damn good one for. I don't, and all it ended up being was, because I read about scam, was that it would, when you clicked on the story, it would just take you to a Amazon affiliate link to buy gift cards. And being that I am a part of the Amazon affiliate program, I know how it works, is that if you click on that affiliate link and go to Amazon, anything that you buy for the next 24 hours, I get a little piece of that.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be just when you clicked on it that instance. Now I got you locked in for 24 hours.
Facebook for AARP members there.
Yeah, so I can imagine, getting everybody to click on that affiliate link and going over to the gift card, at how many thousands of people they got that are just normally, they're like, scam, blah, blah, blah. But an hour or two later or the next morning, they're on Amazon buying, whatever they buy on Amazon. And those people are raking in all kinds of, 2 cents per purchase. It's another one of those things that all of the YouTube experts talk about, small channel people. You got to go out there, become a part of the affiliate programs, all these different companies.
Oh my God.
That's how that's your
I told you at the beginning of the show, my word for the day was sold out. I'm sorry. I sold out.
Yeah, everybody with their side hustle thing that I enjoy making videos. My creation of videos. Robert, man, here. Have a good evening, sir. That sucks that work is interfering with fun.
You tell him to call me. Yep. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell people you don't even care about. Watch the shit that needs to be said show.
I like that. Tell everybody. Yeah.
Tell everybody you can.
Yeah, that classic thing that all these YouTube experts telling people, and it's like, so that was, of course, you guys are experts. I'm gonna go out and do this thing, and what a crock. It's unless you spend a majority of your day like posting links to shit everywhere, it's you don't, and even at that you don't make any money. Like somebody buys something for $200 on Amazon through your affiliate link,
You get
and you
like,
get like $1.
yeah,
You know, of course, Amazon they're not paying for that kind of crap. They're not paying a lot of money. It's like YouTube. YouTube don't pay crap.
oh, so-called experts. You reminded me of NorCal, the tire thing. He was talking about having the tires on backwards or something.
Oh,
Uh,
I actually saw
so-called experts. Like you said, that's the thing is I had somebody. I posted up a post and I had somebody run their mouth off at me, and I was like, "Hey, look, I was like, it's my truck. I can do what I want," and yeah, they weren't having it. I don't know.
it was one of the better responses that I've seen to an internet expert. And unfortunately, the admin of the group decided that he was going to be a lord of truth and take it down.
Yeah.
But it was exactly what an internet expert needed to hear.
Well, I basically told him that, yeah, I mean, everybody's got an opinion. They're like, you're behind, but I don't wave it in the air, dude.
Yeah. I mean, just because you have an opinion doesn't mean that anybody else wants to hear it. Unless, of course, you are tuning in to the Shit That Needs to Be Said show, because
and then I don't care about your opinion. Rich does.
Everybody wants to hear what what our opinions are on things. But I mean, YouTube is a creative outlet for me. I never knew that I enjoyed editing and making videos until I started making videos.
Right.
And then it was like, well, man, this is a ton of fun. It's, it's part of the cool part of the RC hobby for me. And like doing the live show for me, it's fun. This is me hanging out with 11 of my buddies in the garage, talking about just whatever the hell we want to talk about.
Yep.
I had another guy ask me, "Do you even crawl, bro?" Oh.
I did one time. That's I just.
Well,
was you remember RC Cam?
That's tires on. I actually saw somebody who commented. This guy did like this really nice scale build, and obviously put a lot of work into it. And he had a picture from the back, and you could see that he had mounted the tires. Well, one or the other was mounted wrong. Well, not wrong. It was just they were different. They had like almost like the Swampers that have the line of knobs through the middle, and then they have that go on each side of that center ridge, and the lugs with the wider space were technically supposed to be on the outside of the tire, I guess. And he had put one on the inside, and somebody pointed that out. Like 60 something comments on the pictures of this guy's absolutely gorgeous rig. And there's that one guy.
There's that one. Yeah, that one.
You mounted your tire backwards.
Thanks. Like I didn't notice that when I posted the picture.
He's like he's like like a kindergartner that you have a little piece of mustard on your mouth and you get some crap on your lip. Hey, thanks for pointing that out. Thanks for pointing that out.
Goodyear MTR.
Is that which one it is?
I don't. Yeah,
Goodyear tire. I only have because typically I basically only have like 3 different tires that I run: the Hyrax, the Rock Beast, and the Landmines. And then I got a set of the Mud TAs for the Phoenix. Oh, actually, I did get a new set of tires for the Capra. I don't even remember which ones are. They look cool.
I was gonna say, my thought about the whole thing is a lot of the times, when somebody posts something and they make, hey, here's my truck or whatever, you don't know what they know. You've got no idea what they know. So
Well,
I don't understand where people get the idea that it's just cool to be like, hey, by the way, bro. I guess if you said it politely, I suppose that might be one thing. But even you said that if you said it politely, you can still come across as
and I, if you post up the pictures and you're like, hey, roast my rig,
that'd
then
be
yeah,
one thing.
freaking have at
Sure.
it. But if you just post up some pictures of your rig because, hey, I did a thing, and there has to be that one guy, that the expert, that has to come in and tell you that, oh, you should have done that, and you shouldn't have done that, you should have done that because it'll be better.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, great, it'd be better for you, but for me that would suck ass. So
Right.
shut your pie hole, jerkwad.
If you can't say anything nice, and don't say, yeah, and that's the way my mom raised me. Was but man, that does not seem to translate to today's world.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and see, like, yeah, Joe's saying common argument is what way the super swamper bogger should run. And yeah, I believe the boggers are the ones that have like offset, they have offset treads.
I mean, we're really going to argue about this on an RC car?
Well, I'm just wondering.
Didn't we talk?
It
I mean, didn't we
depends.
say we were boys playing with toys?
I think it would depend. You would put the mounted tires depending on what you want to do the mud to do.
I suppose. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because you would, if you have the curls going this way, you're trying to get more drive forward and use it less like a paddle in the mud. So maybe you're in less soupy mud. But if you're in super soupy mud and you want it to work like actually a boat paddle, then yeah, you might want to flip them around the other direction. So there again, you could super swamp or bogger, you could mount them either way, and technically it wouldn't be wrong. On top of the fact that, unless you work for Super Swamper and you manufacture or engineered the tire, I don't think anybody could sit there and tell me how I should mount my tires on. Now, if the guy from Maxxis or Goodyear, looks at the picture of my RC car and sends me a message like, hey, jackass, you mounted your scale tires wrong. I work for BF Goodrich, and you have to take those apart and mount them right because you're making us look bad. I would probably still tell him to kiss my ass.
Right. Here we go. We're going to offend somebody. Wait. Oh, I just saw like 3 people drop off too. So obviously,
I run boggers on most of my rigs. Sometimes I run them backwards to wear the tread evenly. And I didn't even think about that.
Was my Vanquish? I mean, Vanquish has an overdrive in the front, so I got to swap out the front tires for the back sooner or later. Otherwise, you'll wear out the fronts faster than the rears. And then, yeah, keyboard warriors. There are a lot of keyboard warriors for sure. I have been called one myself, though, so I can't say that.
But you are not a keyboard warrior. You are more of a meme lord than keyboard warrior.
Oh, I pick and choose my battles, I guess.
I'm happy if I can keep 4 tires on an RC. I have never. I never really thought about, at any point when I've mounted tires, I don't think I've ever paid attention to which direction I'm mounting them, other than I know when I mounted the last, it was actually when I did the Phoenix, when I mounted them, because they put a little blue dot for the Predator compound on the tire, I made sure to put that towards the inside. So nobody
saw the blue dot in the video. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, I know I could have sworn I had a directional tire, but I haven't seen one since I was crawling with the guys, and I mean those were the days of the competitions. I'm not into that stuff anymore. So I've never really, of course, when we're talking about at most a 13, 15 pound RC car, if you're telling me one tire is on backwards, I'm gonna be like, yeah, whatever, dude. That whatever.
I did that on purpose. I was testing you. to see if you would know.
You're lucky I got all 4 of them on the car, to be honest.
Yeah, and see, Kevin, I have even gotten to the point where I won't even step in to defend anybody online anymore. Because if you go in somewhere and
I've had and that was the thing that I've told Rich is I've had people I really admired and trusted and thought were great friends and people, and they talk trash on great friends and people, and so no, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, I honestly I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook anymore. I still belong to a lot of groups. I still have my my group there. My friend Paul
Rich is very positive, and I'm very negative.
The only rule that I have in my group is try to keep it RC related and keep it family friendly.
Right.
And that is primarily Paul, who's the one that does like 99% of the admin work for that group. Like he's been in there since day one when I created it, and it was like, all right, dude, because I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. I got soured on Facebook because I had a couple instances of things that have happened over the last few years, mostly because of my presence on YouTube. Even recently, just random people sending me FU messages on.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that part since last show. You talk about common drama, what drives the show is drama, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody says a little bit of controversy is it's good, but yeah, obviously there was.
I mean, is it coincidence? Is it coincidence that you just got 2 F off messages during, or does somebody really not like you?
I mean, it can't be because I ignored them when they signed up
for the website.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Hold on, I'm going to shamelessly plug a sponsor we don't have.
Today's show is brought to you by nobody, because nobody will sponsor us.
Sold out.
Likely will never sponsor us. Because I have a hard time shamelessly plugging companies and products that
it's all about the image and how many followings they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was one point where I felt like I was in trouble for my image.
So, you were.
Yeah.
You were. You absolutely were. You freaking showboat.
Yeah,
man.
You know me.
Lord knows you go out to have a little bit of fun with something, and next thing you know, freaking
JB's being the showboat.
Hey, you are stealing the thunder.
Sorry.
Thou shalt.
It's your show, Rich. I'll shut up. Jesus.
Thou shalt not steal thunder.
Yeah.
That is rule number. We'll call that rule number 4. I haven't figured out what the rest of the rules
the first 3 are.
I got to get some space in there just in case there's some other rules.
We'll tell you guys what's going on later.
Get ghosted when you take care of life issues. Yeah. Thou shalt not. Rule number 5. Thou shalt not take care of life issues.
You can't have life issues. Yeah.
Because that is.
Yeah. 8 SRC.
Yeah, thou shalt not have life issues, because that's not allowed. There's always more important things than your personal life. There's more important things to handle. Enjoy your life because you're both genuine. I feel welcome. Well, you know what, Kevin? You are welcome. Everybody is welcome here. And
it's the shit that needs to be said, show, man.
Yeah. While we're at it, thank you to all you guys. I wasn't expecting there to be that many people here tonight, because I know.
Is that why we didn't have so many topics and we're so off course?
Well, I mean, that's just the general chaos of the shit that needs to be said show. But yeah, I was a little off. That and I've been off for the last couple of days because yeah, yeah, there's that extra, like 5.5 hours of the day where I'm sitting working and doing stuff like that where the gears are turning and but yeah, thank you all for coming in and hanging out. Thank you to Mr. JB for hanging out co-hosting because otherwise it would just mean be babbling away like a freaking knucklehead.
Oh no, I'm happy to be here. The chat always makes it happen. You guys are great. I know I talk a lot of smack, but
and I mean that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's the whole point of the show is for us, to be able to say whatever we want without having to worry about making, a potential sponsor upset or, oh, I'm going to say something and somebody who's watching the show might get triggered. And
really when it comes down to the RC hobby, I want people just go out and have a good time. Just go have fun. Ignore what I'm saying. Forget I'm not an influencer. I'm nobody. I'm a guy sitting here in my house. For Christ's sake.
I'm an influencer. I influenced like at least 3 people to I don't know, something. I want to be an
I'm
influencer.
Influenced not to stay sober around you.
I want to have YouTube money. I want the YouTube mansion and the 3 Ferraris in the garage and I want to have a wall of RCs. I want the wall behind me, the cathedral of RCs. Today I saw something really interesting.
Yeah, it's like half upside down halfway through. So I don't know how that happened in edit, but somehow edit like it's like 2 hours of video if that's what he's talking about. That was a ridiculous.
2.5. Okay. I'll take 2.5. I influenced 2.5 people.
2.5. Are you calling me short now? Is this a short joke now?
My idea.
I'm 5'7". It's not that. It's not a half.
I had the urge again.
Straight to the point. Well, I mean, we try to be. So when we can be.
I am not always straight to the point. Sometimes I take a 5-point trip to get to the point.
Sometimes 4 lives really do make a right.
My wife is constantly telling me, come on, get there. Get there. Like, but in order to get there, I have to tell you this and this and this before I can get to this, because that's how I work.
I want all 12-year-olds to envy me. I feel like you're pushing a bar there I don't want to talk about. What else? Oh, take it out. Yeah, take it out. And that's the thing is, like I said, man, don't. I felt like I had an influence in the RC world. I felt like I had this, like people got the idea that it was okay to go out and dodge bashers, even if it was their first time. And it was like, that was not the idea that I was trying to give off to the RC community whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a role model or anything. If you want to go out and do what you want to do, just do it. Ignore my ass.
You were having fun.
Yeah. Are you got a smile on your face? Well, that's all that matters.
And I mean, anybody that's bashed, and anybody that's bashed and filmed has hit themselves with a car.
Oh yeah,
you've absolutely done it. And
the chicks dig RC scars.
Yeah, once you've done it, it's kind of like the first time you break your leg. Once you've done it, you know how it feels. So the second or third time you do it, it's not as bad. Doesn't have that.
It's not as bad. It's like you already know the nurse. You know how to go into the emergency room. This is planned out now. It's like
Getting hit by a Creighton or maybe a Slash is going to be slightly different than getting hit by, say, a Raminator.
Oh, for sure. Well, and so I mean, I really do kind of have like weight categories. There's 3S, there's 6S, and then there's 8S, and those are all like weight categories of your truck too, right? And
Yeah.
so when you're out bashing, like I said, when I'm filming, I'm a big 4S person. 4S is fast enough, and 4S is typically enough battery. And I mean, unless you've got an 8S truck and we need to run 6S to get it to go, or something. But when we start talking about dodging 8S trucks or something like that, that's serious. It's 30 pounds of truck battery moving through the air between 30-40 miles an hour.
10 scale equals flesh wound. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and so like I said, I've swatted a Slash out of the air, like a like a 4x4 VXL Traxxas Slash. It's something easy. You just put your arm up and just swat it out of the way. When you get into like a 6S or an 8S Creighton, it's a little bit more than just swatting it out of the way at this point.
You try to swat it, you're probably going to break bones in your hand.
If you really think it's that close, I recommend the arm shield. Just do the arm shield.
I prefer the duck and cover fetal position.
Oh yeah. Yep, I've hit myself with a car. Yeah, I mean everybody, sooner or later, if you're out filming, and the 8S Creighton is no joke. Yeah, when we start getting, like you said, when we start getting into 8S, that shit scares me a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Well, and I mean, when you go, if you haven't had a chance to check out JB's footage from the 2022 USTE Bash Park, there's some incredibly close shots where I happen to know, because I was watching other people's live feeds that were filming that while JB was out there getting his shots, to know that there's a certain amount of calculated risk going on there.
Yeah,
it's not randomly standing underneath it or laying on the ground underneath the jump with the camera going, all right, man.
I'm not asking my girlfriend to hold the camera while I do this.
I'm going to lay on the other side of the ramp.
Here,
try
babe.
not to hit me.
Yep.
Oh, LMT from blasting somebody in the chest would be...
ouch. Yeah, that'll take you down. That'll take you down. I saw that race drone to the eye. Are you serious? That sucks.
That could take an eye out.
Yeah.
I mean, not like Jim Carrey.
No, like
an eye out with that. That like legit.
Like that South Park episode where Butters got a ninja star in his eye. Like
personal Olmert. Filmer in tow. Yeah. I don't know what an Olmert is. I might just have exposed myself for the dummy that I am. That I'm not sure what a.
That's right.
That was an autocorrect thing. Snagged it out of the air. And speaking of skate parks, I just, after living here for a year, I finally had a chance to go check out the skate park.
That's what you're saying.
Here. And, it's going to be fun. I'm going to have to do it like super early in the morning, because we were there at, later in the evening. We had had dinner, and we were on our way home, and I just wanted to swing by there to check it out. And there was like freaking 80,000 crazy teenagers there, skating like crazy. But it's going to be a fun skate park, much better than the skate parks I had in Ventura. So I'm looking forward to that. And once I saw that, it had me thinking like, maybe I need to get myself a second basher, because I'm probably going to break the Typhon pretty quick. So I'm going to need a second one.
I don't know. Did you get a 3S Typhon or the 6S?
I got the 3S.
You might break it.
And I mean, it has been ridiculously tough.
I love Arma products. I mean, I don't
And
want
the
to shout out
3S
any
line,
brands, but I like Arma.
and it was at the recommendation from Billy and Jay RCU next Tuesday. Get the Typhon 3S. The 3S series of Arma stuff is super tough, and I wanted that 8 scale kind of buggy thing because at the time I was thinking like, oh, I might even take it out to the track and play around with it.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I think I'm just like, you just gotta like tie a rope onto the fence and then crawl down in there. So, hey, Rich, hold on, here comes an idea.
Well, now I know the skate park in Ventura. One of them had the bowl with no escape, and I kid you not, I spent 20 minutes in that bowl because I couldn't get out of it. And I had to wait until somebody was walking by, and I would, it was about up to here, so it was just my head sticking out of it, and I had to wait for somebody walking by to ask them like, "Hey, can you give me a hand?"
Right.
And that was dry. That wasn't even wet. And I never went back in that bowl ever again. After that, I just didn't even drive the car into that bowl because I was afraid if it got flipped over, I would just like, all right, I guess I'm leaving my car here.
Where's the ladder? Where's the ladder, Rich?
Yeah, rope. That is a good idea. Although
yeah,
I don't know if I could pull myself out.
I just have to tie it around me and hope that the kids could pull me back out. I'll give you guys $20. You pull me out. The 4S Creighton is plenty of, and I'm not dissing on 8S or 6S or 12S or 16S or however. Give me all the S's. I love that stuff. Honestly, I mean, I'll film anything. I just find that in film at 120 frames a second, 4S is fast enough. It gives me an opportunity as a camera guy to dodge that car if I feel that it's coming at me. And it gives you enough power to, get the wheels out from under it, give it a little bit of gunk and go on. So,
yeah, I mean, you got to figure, probably 40 or 50 miles an hour is that's sort of the threshold for filming.
Yeah,
beyond that, you have to start changing camera settings.
Well, I don't think people realize, like I said, there's a physical limitation to your body. Okay. Whether you'd like to think so or not. I mean, unless you're practicing at the dojo every day, your reflexes, okay. Typically when it gets to be about 35 miles an hour, you're not fast enough to dodge it anymore. That's all there is to it. You're just not. You're human.
I'm almost not fast enough to dodge my crawlers.
I can't even dodge my bills.
I have. So the very first time I took my Typhon out, it was at that skate park with the bowl, and the very first jump that I launched it out of, there was about
wait, what's this green frog interrupting the show with dip dodge with the 5 D's of dodgeball?
Mr. Kagan, yes, dip, dodge, duck, dive, dodge.
Dip dodge? Was it? If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge an RC. That's just
yeah, I launched my car over a chain link fence, which this particular skate park happened to be right next to the playground area of an elementary school. And I was there in the morning on a weekday while there was school. So I launched my car into the playground of the school, and I had to climb over the chain link fence in order to get my car out. And the whole time I was thinking, like, man, how ridiculous is it going to look, me getting arrested for breaking into an elementary school to get my stupid
to
car
get your
out.
RC car. Yeah.
And it was later on in that same session that I got stuck in the bowl. So that was I had a relatively rough first outing with the at that park with the Typhon. Oh man, Kagan, it's good to see you. It has been a while. Sorry about that. It's been a little chilly here today, so I got a bit of the sinuses going.
I get you.
Yeah, the watching people film faster RC cars, like the one that I really like are the speed run guys.
Oh wait, this was what Joe Harrington was just saying. He had a limitless for about a week. I don't know if you caught that, and that I mean those limitless. I mean, depending on what you put in one.
That's and I mean those things are just. I mean, it's made for going ridiculously fast.
Yeah, it's an ankle breaker.
Yeah,
that's what I call those.
And I actually remember that NorCal sending over the wall.
Whoops. Not good. Yeah. Considering that's a federal building.
It's nothing like getting the SWAT team sick on you. Hey man, I'm just trying to get my RC car.
It's a bomb. It's a bomb. It's got wires and a motor sticking out of it. We can't trust that. Rocket ships on 6S. Yeah.
Imagine that phone call. Hey honey, I'm gonna need you to come down to the federal building and yeah, just go ahead and come down here and help me out here.
Just go ahead and come on down here.
I might be in a little bit of trouble.
Talk about mailing it. Oh.
But what I was saying was like the speed run guys that, I mean, you get only a split second of that car. Most of the time it's.
Well, I mean, I think we figured out the math on this. I've done the math on this. Like, is at 120 miles an hour, you're moving like about a half a football field a second or something. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So you got to have like about 3 football fields of running space from one end to the other. And then you got to have a transmitter and receiver, of course, that is going to travel that far as well, too. And the space to do it, if you're lucky enough. And I mean, especially if you want to hit those ridiculous speeds that they, that's why a lot of those guys go out to the interstate or something like that. So they've got this huge stretch to run that.
Well, that was last summer. I was watching the like RC Next Tuesday and Kevin Gibbs, Raz Schifrin. I guess over in Great Britain, they they open up an airstrip runway.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys to make speed runs on, and it's like it seems like a couple of days where they can just, and they set up the traps and everything so that they, get the actual speeds and whatnot. But it is, at that kind of speed, it is. You have to have a lot of space, and it's also almost impossible to catch that on camera.
I mean, well, unless you've got one of those.
If you've got a Reds or a Black Magic,
I know there's some high speed cameras that'll catch that, but I mean, you're gonna pay $30,000, $40,000 for a camera before you actually get to that point where you can actually catch that kind of.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the guys that are doing the speed runs all the time.
I wrecked his new build at 190. Yep, disintegrated. Yeah. God, I can't remember. I think it was years ago. I watched RC Fun. I think it was RC Fun, and he took a car and hit 98 miles an hour and hit a manhole with it. Just, the manhole cover was just raised up, and he hit it, and the thing just exploded. I mean, it just pieces everywhere.
Well, and I think as of right now, Nick Case still owns the record for the fastest RC car. And it was vastly different than what everybody's trying to do now. Nick's car looked more like a Bonneville car. It's very, very skinny.
Yeah, the salt flat style.
All made out of carbon fiber, and it completely covered the wheels and everything. But it was very long and it was very, very skinny, and it wasn't, like super vastly overpowered. Like I know, like Raz and Kevin Talbot, they're running like 16S with like these giant freaking industrial brushless motors, and Nick basically did it based on kind of just long build-up speed and more aerodynamic trickery than just throwing raw power at it and letting it rip. But yeah, some of them guys that your RC car wads, there ain't nothing left after 200-mile crash.
Yeah, no.
I mean, there isn't much that survives.
If we're lucky, I might have the wheels, maybe, if they're still glued on or good at all.
Well, it's like a lot of the Bonneville salt flat cars, like the SSC, I forget the other, the Blue Flame. They didn't even run rubber; they just have aluminum wheels, and there's no rubber because the rubber won't last. It literally just disintegrates. And I mean, if you're going 500 miles an hour,
sure.
But I know the what is that? The Bugatti Chiron. That the tires at speed on that only last like for 7 or 8 miles.
Yeah.
Before they start shredding to pieces.
Yeah.
And it's
yard sale.
And they're like $30,000 for a set of tires for that thing.
Yeah. No, I love, I'm sure just like the rest of it, I love cars, of course, and auto car, supercars especially. I love Ferraris, Lamborghinis, stuff like that. But just the maintenance to own one is ridiculous. I mean, if you were just going to drive it around as like your daily driver, it would be ridiculous for you to.
Yeah, I mean, there are very few of those supercars that are really meant to be daily drivers. They really are just, you take it out on a Sunday and you drive it around for an hour.
Yeah, I got 12 miles on it, and then I park it because...
Yeah. And, you drive it around so that everybody can be like, oh, and then you go home and park it in the garage and spend 4 hours dusting it and cleaning it. But there are people out there that, daily drive Lamborghinis, Bentley Continentals,
$2,000 oil changes. Yeah, for sure, if not more.
Yeah, what was the Bugatti before the Chiron?
The Veyron?
The Veyron. So, in order to change the spark plugs on the Veyron, they had to take the entire rear engine cover, that whole body panel, had to come completely off. Then they had to unbolt the engine from its mounts and raise it up so they could change spark plugs.
Yeah, I've heard about this before.
I think it was something like...
There was an old Ford that was like that, wasn't there? There was a... God, I can't remember. I thought there was a 50s or 60s Ford that was like that too.
I do believe there was.
Like you had to drop the motor out of the bottom, turn it sideways one way, change the spark plugs, and then turn it sideways the other way, change the plugs, and then put it back up in there.
I think the Pontiac Fiero had a similar issue.
Certainly wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. If you manage to drive your
Subaru life.
If you manage to drive your Pontiac Fiero around long enough for it to need spark plugs without it bursting into flames, then you could worry about changing the spark plugs. Yeah, Subaru. I
love Subarus though. I mean, now we're gonna get. Oh my gosh, you guys, we're gonna spend the next 30 minutes just talking about cars. I know it.
And the old Subaru Boxer engine, still one of the best sounding 4 and 6 cylinder engines out there. Were the Subarus? They were absolutely awesome. Kind of sad when Subaru elected to discontinue with the Boxer and just go with a regular inline 4, but doesn't matter because we're all going to be driving electric cars soon anyhow.
Right. Oh dear Lord. Oh.
All of it. Which reminds me, I saw somebody that posted a video about him and his wife have the Hummer EV.
I've seen this, yeah. I mean, I've seen the Hummer EV, but
so they bought the Hummer EV and they evidently stopped to charge it, and they sat there for 41 minutes.
Is this where they went the wrong way and then had to come back and charge it again?
No. They sat there for 41 minutes and charged for charging the EV, and it went from like 26% to like 50% or something like that. So they went from like they had 61 miles to having like 130 miles or something like that, and it was like $30 they spent on the electric charge for that. And they're like, man, this freaking sucks.
Yeah, where's the EV part kick in?
I do know that like most of the EVs, well, Teslas are relatively cheap to charge them. I know you can do like a full from like 2% to 100% charge, and it only costs like $20 or $30. So, but it's also Tesla. They've done, I think, a much better job at mastering the EV than freaking GM with, hey, let's make a Hummer EV. What? Let's make a car that weighs 9,000 pounds and make it run on battery power.
Battery, yeah, that seems.
That's like, hey, I'm going to do a full 23-pound scale rig, and I'm going
generator in tow.
I'm going to put a 600 mAh 2S battery in it, so it'll, I'll be able to drive it on the trail for about 4 minutes.
See, I have a family member that lives out in the middle of nowhere, and he tells me, he's like, yeah, I'm just going to take my diesel truck and run up and down the road and charge up Teslas when they die. He's like, I can charge them whatever I want because there won't be anybody around to help them out anyways. So,
well, and I remember the episode of Top Gear where Jeremy and James had they were electric. I think one was driving the Nissan Leaf and the other one was driving, and Jeremy's car ended up running out of power. And they needed to charge it. And after they ran around, because there were no charging stations around, they managed to find somebody that allowed them to plug an extension cord into their house and then plug it into his car. It was like 8 hours to charge the battery on the thing. And I'm thinking like, well, who on earth wants to, if it's a back and forth to work car and, you only have a, 20 or 30 minute commute or whatever,
that's
and
fine.
you don't go there and back on one charge, that's great. But, let's say I want to make a cross country trip in my electric car. It would be faster for me to get a freaking horse and carriage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go across the country.
You could Oregon Trail that stuff and catch some kind of disease halfway, and half your party could die.
You have,
yeah, you can't say that stuff on this show, man. I know where you're going. You didn't catch that on the trail, anyways.
I mean, you can literally. I just saw somebody that was talking about they took a train trip from New York City to San Francisco, on the the sleeper train thing, and it's like 4 day. It's like a 4 day trip on a train. and it probably cost 47 cents because nobody buys
that
the
might be
freaking
fun.
train.
You know, a train might be fun, but I mean, seriously, like, you know, I live 4 hours away from Denver, basically. So yeah, if you're gonna do something, we're gonna go to Denver. Well, if I can't drive over the mountains in 4 hours, I mean, if I got to stop in Vail and charge for 8 hours, geez, it's gonna take me 2 days to get to Denver. You got to be kidding me.
So I want to go to a Broncos game on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
but I have to leave on Saturday and I have to take a vacation day on Monday because
So
it takes 8 hours to charge my car. And I have to charge 3 times.
Until they figured that part out, I'm not buying it. Now, did you hear the thing about Wyoming? Wrote some kind of law in the state of Wyoming. They're like, well, all right, but we're not allowing electric cars in the state. So if you bring them in, guess what? We're going to fine you. Now,
Yeah.
I'm sure that the federal government will come in and stomp that out on them, but
part of that is in response to California saying that I think it's by 2030, they're not going to sell anything but electric cars. You won't be able to buy a new gasoline powered car anymore, which, okay, what if you're a semi driver in California? As of right now, there isn't anybody that makes an electric semi truck.
well, like I said, man, we're gonna horse and wagon this stuff across the United States because
I mean, such a lack of like thinking far enough ahead to understand, like, oh crap, I guess we ought to wait until somebody actually invents an electric power semi truck that will, I think a regular semi truck will go anywhere from like 800 to 1,000 miles on a fill up.
that sounds right.
So, until you come up with an electric power truck that can go 800 to 1,000 miles.
Well, I mean, like I said, I can get in my car. I can get in my 1.6 liter and drive over to Denver in 4 or 5 hours. And sip it down to 30 miles to the gallon.
Well, and if you've got if you've got an electric truck that can only run for, say, 4 or 5 hours, and then it needs 2 or 3 hours to charge. I mean, literally in the trucking business, time is money. So they got to do something better. Otherwise,
the horses had to eat, man.
Well, you'll have to do it like the old Pony Express. So they just have these little stations where there's a new horse.
Another rider. Okay.
Yeah, you drive your truck in, you unload the trailer. Some other guy takes the trailer on his truck and then keeps on driving while you sit there and charge and wait for another truck to come in and dump off his trailer. And then
I guess that would make sense.
But what a mess that's going to be. Yeah, I mean, a dispatcher's job is hard enough. Can you imagine that you got to figure out how to get, one trailer from California to Florida? All right, you're going to have to stop 37 times in order to get there. And
it's just that the load has to be transferred 37 times to get there.
Exactly. And imagine.
So what happens with DOT? Absolutely. What happens with DOT laws? Sure.
Well, not to mention, the imagine the stack of batteries that's going to have to go into that semi truck. Where the hell are you going to, when they go bad, where are you going to put them? You could go, I know, see, I'm thinking right now. They have that giant burning hole that's in, I think, Georgia or something like that. It's, it's like a couple 100 yards wide, and it's been burning for like 30 some odd years.
Oh, yeah.
They call it like the freaking gateway to hell or something like that. I say we just take everything over there and dump it in that hole.
Sure, that makes sense.
I mean, why not?
All these chemicals all over the ground here, I'm just going to light them on fire.
It might release some toxic smoke in the air, but it'll be over there. So we don't have to worry about it here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not breathing it in. I don't live in Ohio. Oh, wait.
There is, and there's the other one, the town that's been on fire for 30 years in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
There's that
yeah,
one too.
I
The
know that one
underground
too.
mine
Yeah,
that caught on fire.
just
Just plug that up. Don't worry about it. Hey, everybody, you all have to move.
so sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah, Ohio. I I still don't understand. Let's light it on fire.
Yeah, this seems like a really good idea, you guys.
And that is one of those. It had to have been. It seemed like a good idea at the time, kind of things. Yeah, old coal mine in PA, still burning, and I think it's going on like 30, maybe 40 years now that it's
Yeah,
been burning.
yeah.
And they're saying like it's. They don't even
Like
know how long.
120. Yeah. I mean, I heard 120 some years or so or longer.
Did you know?
I try not to.
When they carved out the faces in Mount Rushmore,
Now you know I used to live there.
they calculated exactly how long it will take for it to erode back to a semi-natural form.
I did not know that.
It's like 65,000 years and Mount Rushmore will disappear, as there won't be any faces there. It will have eroded down to look like a natural rock formation.
I know they take care of it all the time.
That was total squirrel moment right there.
I've actually been one of the few people probably who have been on top of Mount Rushmore.
I've never even been to Mount Rushmore. I've never seen it other than photographs and videos.
So after living there for most of my life, I feel like it's just a big rock that they light up at night. I mean,
I did like the thing they did 5 or 6 years ago on 4th of July. That was pretty. They had a pretty awesome 4th of July like party thing there.
Yep, they do some pretty awesome. It used to be that I went to one of the only high schools that had their prom up at there. Or graduation. I'm sorry, graduation.
I graduated at Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
That was pretty freaking cool. Yeah, Silent Hill barbecue. That's I loved that game. The game was more scary than the movie. I like totally hyped that movie up to my wife. It was like around Halloween time we were gonna watch that, and I totally hyped it up how scary it was. And because I hadn't watched it in years, and then we sat there and watched it, and my wife was like, "It's not even that scary."
Yep, Kevin probably drove right by me once or twice and had no idea I was standing there. If he was on his Harley and he drove by Mount Rushmore, there's a good chance if you were in Keystone at all. I was working at the hotel in Keystone for a long time.
Niagara Falls. You know what? I've never been to Niagara Falls either.
Neither have I.
Fires how they got the Palestine derailment cleaned up. Centralia, PA is the one with the coal mine fire. Yeah. Unfortunately, by lighting it all on fire, they allowed all the toxic smoke to drift. I think it had gotten all the way to New York and New Jersey. But I know they were saying in the days just after that like Western Pennsylvania and almost like Central Pennsylvania, they were having some acid rain problems. Like people were going outside and the paint had been eaten off of their car. And
when was the last time you were in Sturgis, Kevin? My brother was a slumlord up there.
Nice.
I got a lot of family in the Black Hills there. I have a lot of family in Colorado too. So
Kevin's seen Mount Rushmore being called.
Got some Borglum. You know, it's like you said, it's actually kind of cool. If you've never seen it, it's kind of cool. And they do have a very cool, during the summertime when it's open, they have a very cool lighting ceremony that happens at night where they play a little thing in front of Mount Rushmore and stuff. And light it up, and it's really patriotic. If you've never, it'll get to you a little bit. But I mean, after living there for so long and having toured it a couple times and stuff like, I was just like, yeah,
You get a little desensitized to it.
yeah.
85
1985. Okay, never mind. Yeah,
turned into a yuppie event. Yeah.
I was like 2 years old. I wasn't in Sturgis at that time, bro. You must have been a young buck. Were you like 16 out there strapping, riding that bike, huh?
It's it's really interesting, the change in biker culture.
Oh, definitely
changed.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I watched that. Growing up there, you watched the whole like that. At first when I was really young, it was hardcore bikers.
Yep.
And then these guys would come in and they'd have beards and stuff like that, and you'd ask, and they're doctors and lawyers and stuff like that, and they grew their beard out to be here at Sturgis and it's like, oh, yep. My Lord, dude, have you ever been around some of these people? I worry about you. But anyways,
we had in Ventura for a long time, we had a local Hells Angels chapter.
Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was fairly good size, and the president of that chapter eventually was the national president for a few years, I believe. And I can remember they had their clubhouse in a relatively seedy part of town. And it was one of those that it was always like, oh, whenever you drove by there, Hells Angels. And then and you could always tell. And then all of a sudden, there was like 80 gajillion people riding Harleys around.
Sure.
And they were all dressing like that. They all of a sudden, now everybody's got their vests on, their motorcycle club vests on. And it was like, what the hell happened? What?
Yeah, credit card riders. Yeah.
Bikers,
Yeah, I know. But I tell you what, Joe, when I was waiting tables there in Hill City and stuff, man, those credit card writers paid good tips, bro.
when it got to the era of, you're dropping 40, 50 grand on a Harley, that's when everything changed, because Harley recognized, oh, you're a lawyer. Oh, you have a little bit of money in your bank account.
Right.
Let me relieve you of some of that with this heritage Softail. You don't want the old, you don't want the FB 750. You want the heritage Softail.
Well, of course, like I said, growing up there, of course, you get to see a lot of custom bikes, a lot of custom paint jobs. I mean, people love that stuff. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just like cars or anything else. I mean, they go all out with some of that stuff. And Sturgis is huge. I mean, obviously, a lot of people know about the Sturgis Rally. And I mean, it's like one gigantic party. And it's like the Mardi Gras of South Dakota. So
yeah. I mean, it's the Mardi Gras for bikers. It's much, yeah. And then along came the Orange County Choppers and freaking Jesse James and these guys that are like, oh yeah, I'll build you a custom.
Oh, yeah. The whole
$175,000.
An internet influence revolution of bikers. Yeah.
Which
I in the living room. Now that's a guy. I like that.
Wait until EV. Barbecue. It's not. It's a lot closer than you think.
Mm-hmm.
There is a company right now that is making a electric dirt bike that it's legit.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The thing about it, electric power is you have all the horsepower right then. And I mean, with the electronics are today, we can adjust throttle curve and all this other stuff. The technology is amazing. So yeah. I mean, yeah, dude, I'm all about. I would love to rocket ship down a drag strip in a Tesla for sure. The thing is you just can't sell me on it because it doesn't go far enough. It's a fun toy, but
Well, and my big problems with hybrids and electric vehicles is the big lie that's been told about this
Well, yeah,
the whole
like
time,
it's
and that
like we're going green or something.
the people that get that
1%
snooty
of us are
attitude.
going green.
I drive a Prius. I'm saving the planet. You're not. Actually, you're making it worse.
What
I'm
about all
doing a
the coal
better
mines
job
in
driving
China?
around. I'm doing a
Sorry,
better job driving
can you
around
say
in my
that?
2011 GMC than you are with your Prius. Because guess what? In 5 years, you got 1,000 pounds worth of lithium and cobalt and battery muck that's going to get buried somewhere.
Well, and where did they make that? Where did that come? Where do you think that came from?
Yeah,
Where
not
do
to
you?
mention, no, by the way, yeah, most of the stuff that makes up the batteries for your car is dug up out of the ground by slave labor.
Oh yeah, when it starts on fire, yeah, that's another thing too. Is
Yeah.
that I had it. Jesse, you bring that up. I had a conversation with a very famous YouTube person. You probably know them, and we were talking about being on an airplane one time and having batteries with you. And I said, well, what are you really going to? He said, well, I take it on in my carry on. And I said, well, what difference would it make if it was in your carry on or in your luggage? What are you really going to do if it's in your hands, anyways? Well, I don't know. They have stuff on the plane to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so holding it makes it that much better, huh?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, the thing about it, they haven't figured out a way to put them out. They burn until they burn out.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Tesla can be on fire for like 3 days or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin Gibbs riding a 52 Panhead for 38 years. Yeah. That's
Damn, son.
that's legit right there.
I know why you can't walk.
that is not a comfort ride by any means. And that probably was a kickstart too. There probably wasn't no electric start on that thing either. That's hardcore.
Kickstart leg, yeah. Tell you what, my knees hurt today, and
my knees hurt just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't realize that like pro supercross and outdoor riders now, they're using electric start bikes. When they go down and they get back up and they restart the bike, you don't see them kicking their bikes over anymore.
No, yeah.
Electric start.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's cheating.
It's cool as hell, isn't it?
That's freaking cheating.
That's cheating. We didn't have that.
Well, talking about supercross, Eli Tomac is an absolute beast of a rider. Probably could be one of the greatest ever. He's definitely going to go up there with the Ricky Carmichael and Jeremy McGraths, some of the greats. But there's got to be an asterisk there because like if Ricky Carmichael went down, that boy had to pick his bike up and then and kick that thing over 47 times to get it to fire back up again. Because McGrath had a little bit easier because it was in the 2-stroke days and you could just basically fart and those things would restart.
Two smoke all the way.
The 4-stroke 450s that took some work. Burning down YouTube, hell of a fire. Yeah.
Flame shooting 30-foot sideways. Yeah. Lighting cars next to it on fire and stuff. Oh, dear Lord.
I am waiting for FIA and AMA to start allowing electric bikes in motocross and supercross. Because it's going to be the same thing that happened with 2-strokes to 450, partly because they just outlawed 2-strokes. The same thing will happen. Basically, everybody, as soon as the first guy shows up on an EV dirt bike, everybody's going to have to switch because that guy's just going to smoke everyone. It will not even be it won't even be fair at that point. And I don't think the big factories are ready to. They're not ready.
Can you believe we've talked for 2 hours?
I can. It always feels like it goes by like that. We get started, like today we got started and I was worried because I'd written down a bunch of notes, but it wasn't a lot to talk about. And
I can't believe these people over here listen to us talk, though. That's what kills me.
Yeah.
It's like,
and again, thank you all for coming in and hanging out for 2 hours with me and JB, just talking about random stuff. And then also thank you to everybody that comes in and watches the replay, because in the last few weeks, we're actually getting quite a bit of people coming back and watching the replay that can't hang out with us live, which is totally cool. So thank you to everybody that's watching the replay. And thank you, Mr. Gibbs. I enjoy your company and everybody's company as well. Nasty torque on those EVs. Yeah, I have. I've been watching a few videos of the guys riding the electric motocross.
yeah, because like I said, you can have all of it that it'll give right then and there.
Yep.
It's just like turning up the punch.
They'll lose on the start, but if you have a 100-foot or 150-foot straight going into the first corner, by the time you get to that 100-foot mark, that electric bike will be 5 bike lengths.
It was like I said, I was watching a kid with a stripped out Tesla. I mean, he took everything out of it and had all the gut, but he was racing down at the drag strip, and I mean, he was beating people that had 700-800 horsepower.
Oh yeah.
And just making some of those guys look like fools. And man, I tell you what, you want to start to see a bunch of pissed off guys. You wait till a Tesla whips about 3 or 4 of them guys that have been doing well. Anyways, yeah, I suppose, huh?
Yeah, Kagan. Yeah, that's what JB really and I are here for, is open and honest conversation and free. You're free to talk about whatever you want here. You can bring up any subject in the chat that you want to talk about. And they're really, other than
try to keep it to a positive argument and not offend the ladies. There are ladies watching.
And, no trolling. There will be no trolling in the chat here.
I don't care if you troll. He does.
But yeah, I mean, this is an open forum, free to talk about whatever we want. Like Justin and I have been joking about not having sponsors, but that's why we probably won't have sponsors, because there is no legit business is going to come in and be like, oh yeah, Rich and JB are being open and honest. That's who we want to sponsor. No, they want to sponsor people who are going to be like, this product is wonderful. There may be a few flaws with it, but overall, it's a tremendous product, and you should buy this.
You could you could be the show, and you could sponsor the show. I've got it. It's perfect.
Yeah. By the way, not a sponsor. But if Mountain Dew is watching, I would accept sponsorship.
Yeah, we'll take that sponsorship
in the form of, you just give me bottles of this stuff. So absolutely
sold out. That's the word of the show today. What did I say?
Yeah. So
I know I was going to say something quick and clever.
Really do. Show sponsors basically dictate that you have to be politically correct, you have to plug their product, and you can't necessarily say anything grossly negative about their products. But you are allowed to badmouth their competitors if you want.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. I was going to say, hey, yeah. Just like I said before, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your people who don't even care about. Come watch the show next week, next Wednesday, 5:30, 3:30, I don't know, 2:30, wherever you're at.
It's 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here every Wednesday. And tell people you don't even like. Yeah.
Tell that guy on the street. Hey, have you seen the shit that needs to be said show? You gotta watch this.
Make sure you tell all the internet experts.
Definitely.
I want internet experts to come here.
Hashtag the shit that needs to be said show.
Yes. Ooh. I don't know what to do with that. I don't understand the whole hashtag thing. I don't know how that freaking works.
I don't know how that works.
Cool if I could figure out you could hashtag the shit that needs to be said show, and that would somehow bring you here. But I don't know how that works because I'm internet stupid. So
that's all right.
Just write it on a piece of paper and put it on the
Look, I posted it to the wall.
Yeah, put it on the light post out in front of the, in the Walmart parking lot or, Target, where people hang out. Brought to you by Manscaped.
That's right.
Yeah. How many people right now are making videos where you get about 2 minutes into the video and all of a sudden they break out into their own commercial? So, yes. By the way, I want to talk to you today about this because they're a sponsor of the show. So I'm going to spend the next 2 minutes of my video talking about this. And then after I'm done, then we'll go back to watching the video that you actually wanted to watch. So you can't even skip it. It's not like YouTube ad. You're like, skip, you bastards. I don't want your commercial. For your plague vaccine.
At least the people who are watching in playback can skip it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, today's show brought to you by the eyebrow restoring cream that has limited side effects. It may cause diarrhea, fungal infection, blindness, migraine headaches,
nausea,
suicide.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
you guys have a good night.
You'll have perfect eyebrows.
Oh my God.
Yes, I did. I went off on a little tangent there. Squirrel time. Anyhow, thank you all. We have hit the 2-hour mark, so that is going to do it for tonight's show. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us and having a good time. We will see you all next Wednesday, same time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, right here. Have a good one, everybody. Boop.
Oh, it never